Believe it or not, this Sunday marks the halfway point of Advent. 4 weeks, 4 weeks to get ready for the coming of Christ, that annual celebration at Christmas. 4 weeks for us to think about Christ, His love, His significance for us. What I've been inviting you each week to do in these devotionals is to take a week and to focus on a gospel. And so the first week of Advent, we talked about the Gospel of Matthew. And I hope you took some time to read Matthew and to think with him about the claims of Jesus as Messiah. It's a very deep gospel, a very thoughtful gospel, a gospel that invites that kind of deep thinking, hard thinking about the claims that he makes. Last week we shifted to Mark. I invited you to think about the power of Christ and how that power shows itself to us. Well, the third week of Advent brings us to the third gospel, the Gospel of Luke. And when I think about the Gospel of Luke, I think about its loveliness. The Gospel of Luke has sometimes been called the Gospel of favorite passages. Think about it. Only Luke tells us the story of the prodigal son. Only Luke tells us the story of the Good Samaritan. Only Luke gives us the stories of the birth of Christ, the Christmas stories that we celebrate so heartily at Christmas time. The stories of the shepherds and the angels and no room at the inn. It's a gospel of favorite lovely texts, but that loveliness is pointing to something deeper than just lovely literature. It's pointing us to the loveliness of God. It's pointing us to the love of God, to His compassion. And so the Gospel of Luke, again and again and again, tells us that what moves Jesus, what drives Jesus, is compassion. The word that appears in the text is a word that describes the guts. Jesus looks with compassion upon the multitudes. It's saying that He looks and He feels something move at the very core of His being, and that then prompts Him to respond in love. That was how Jesus operated. It's what we read about in the Gospel of Luke, but it's also how we're to operate. Ken Callahan, in his books on effective churches, challenges people to think seriously about what is it that keeps them awake at night. What is the human hurt or hope that you see? You might see it driving down the street, you see it on a street corner, or you read about it in the paper, or you see a news report, that you see a human hurt or hope, and it sticks in your craw. It's a rock, a pebble in your shoe. You can't let it go. Ken Callahan says that is the surest sign of where God is asking you to get involved, to be the place where you give the exercise of your compassion. So this week, as you read the Gospel of Luke and discover more about the compassion of Christ, use that as a door to open up into your own compassion. Where are you bothered? Where are you agitated? Where are you left awake at night wondering about human hurts and hopes? And what are you going to do about it? That's what the Gospel of Luke challenges us to do.